Hi, everyone. Welcome to BIO 105. My name is Leanna Matthews. I'm going to be your professor for this semester. So just wanted to post a video to kind of get you oriented to the course. So there's going to be this video that kind of talks about the components of the course and how you get a grade in the course. And then there's going to be a separate video that kind of gives you a tour of D2L and shows you how that's all set up. So I highly encourage you, if you're watching this one, to also watch that second video as well. We're going to talk about a bunch of this stuff again in the first day of class on Tuesday, June 1st. But if it's Monday, May 31st, and you just want to kind of get a jump start on things, these videos are going to be a great tool for that. So let's just get started then. So we are still in a pandemic. I know that a lot of the mask orders are being lifted, but the college still does have some rules in place and some guidances in place to keep us all safe over the course of the summer. So we are only going to be meeting on campus sometimes. We're going to be mostly on Zoom, but there are 7 occasions over the course of the semester where we are going to meet in person on campus. Generally, there are 30 meetings that we have over the course of the semester. Even in the summer, we still meet 30 times, but only 7 of those are going to be actually in person. When we do meet on campus, we are going to be in room C0902. So if you're not oriented to the building, it's at like the ground level. When you walk out like from the sidewalk into the building, that's the C level. So you'll have to track down room 0902. And when we do meet on campus, there are a couple of expectations. So you do still have to wear a mask when you are in the building. If you need a break from your mask, feel free to excuse yourself from the room, pop outside, take a breather, totally fine. You don't have to ask permission for that. You can just get up and head out if you need to take a break. But when we are in the room with everyone, we will be wearing masks. We are also going to stay 6 feet apart as much as possible. When you walk into the classroom the first time that we meet on campus, you'll notice that there are stations kind of designated every other seat in the room already. So you'll want to make sure that you are sitting at a seat that has a chair that is designated as a spot, and that'll kind of just help space us out within the room. And then when we are meeting on campus, we are generally going to be doing lab activities. So if that's the case and we're sharing lab equipment, we want to make sure that we're cleaning it in between uses. If we are going to be sharing it between groups, we should sanitize it before we pass it off to the other group. So as far as when we are meeting in what places, it can get very, very confusing, but we are going to be mostly on Zoom. And then when we are on campus, we are going to be on campus on these days. So in a normal semester, it's like once a week we're meeting on campus, but because this is a very shortened semester, we're going to be on campus either 1 or 2 times a week when we are meeting on campus. So the first time we meet on campus is going to be Tuesday, June 8th. So the whole first week of class, we are completely on Zoom. So on campus doesn't happen until the second week of class, and we'll meet on campus on Tuesday and Thursday, the 8th and the 10th that week. The following week, we will just meet on campus on Wednesday, the 16th. And then the week after that, we'll again meet on a Tuesday and a Thursday, the 22nd and the 24th. And the week after that, on Wednesday, June 30th, we have our midterm. After our midterm on Wednesday, June 30th, we are 100% on Zoom until the very, very end of the summer on July 5th, which is a August 5th, which is a Thursday, we will have our final exam in person. So when we're meeting on campus, we're doing our lab activities primarily, and then we are taking our exams as well. So all of the other lecture material, and then there are some other labs as well that we'll be doing 100% on Zoom. I would highly recommend keeping an eye on the schedule. I have the schedule pulled up right in front of me because it's very, very confusing. I'm aware of that. I imagine you will be equally as confused as me. Where are we going, when, what is due on what days? The schedule has all of that information. So where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, what you're supposed to be reading, what you're supposed to be turning in, how you're supposed to be turning that in, all of that stuff is in the schedule. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend printing out the schedule, keeping it on your desk with all of your Bio 105 materials somewhere that's very accessible that you can keep an eye on it. So let's talk about what we actually do in this class, right? We are learning a lot of material in a very short amount of time. I mean, even if you just factor in the time that we're spending with each other, it's 9 hours a week. We will probably get out of some classes a little early, so it might be a little less than that. But if you just look at the schedule, 3 days a week, 9 to noon, this is a lot of time just in class. And there are things that you're going to have to do outside of class. So this is a lot of information. It's a lot of coursework, but we're going to get through it. It's going to be totally fine. So let's talk about what you have to do in this class week to week. So one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to read. I lecture on all of the material you will be reading, but sometimes it doesn't quite make sense the first time you hear it, right? Sometimes you need to hear it explained to you and then read it in a chapter, or maybe read it in the chapter first and then have it explained to you. But you're going to have to absorb this information multiple times in order to really understand it. So you're going to need to dedicate some time to read the chapters. It's about 2 chapters a week. I think there's maybe 1 week towards the end of the semester that has like maybe 3 chapters in it. I can't exactly remember, but it's about 2 chapters a week. I would recommend as you are reading these chapters that you read them actively, meaning that you're taking notes while you're reading them. That's going to help you retain this information. There are also a bunch of videos associated with each chapter. When you watch the next video, it's kind of the tour of D2L video, you'll see all of these associated videos, and these can be super, super, super helpful for understanding the material. There are some chapter videos that have been recorded by another Bio 105 professor that will reference information directly from your textbook. And then there are also some outside source videos that I have posted there from various YouTube creators that talk about this material as well. So there's lots of video information out there for you to kind of supplement your chapter reading. There are also quite a few homework quizzes that we have over the course of the semester. Generally speaking, these are about once a week. There are 2 weeks that we don't have a quiz, which is the week of the midterm and the week of the final. So other than those exam weeks, these quizzes do happen every week. It's anywhere from 20 questions to 40 questions, depending on how much material we covered, but it's going to cover whatever we talked about that week. So whatever we discussed in lecture on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, that's what's going to be in the quiz. Each of these quizzes are 40 points each. There are 8 total quizzes, right? There's 10 weeks of our semester. 2 of those weeks are going to be exam weeks. So the other 8 weeks of the semester all have one of these weekly quizzes, but 2 of those quizzes get dropped at the end of the semester. So is there a week that you forgot to take a quiz? It's okay, it's gonna get dropped. Is there a week that you just did really, really bad on the quiz? Also okay, it's gonna get dropped. 2 of those 8 quizzes will get dropped. I would also like to point out that there's no time limit on these quizzes. So you can open up the quiz at the beginning of the week, take a look at the questions, listen to lecture, do your chapter readings, and then go back and take the quiz. Like that's a totally okay thing for you to do. You can also take it twice. If you take it the first time, they're all multiple choice, by the way. If you take it the first time you don't really like your grade, you can take it again. When you look at your grade, it won't tell you which questions you got wrong because that just seems too easy at that point. But you can just go back in it, maybe think a little bit harder about each question. Which ones do you know for sure you got right? Okay, put those in, and then really take a look at the questions that maybe you were unsure about and put in a different answer if you want to do that. Whichever grade is higher out of those 2 attempts, that's the one that's going to stand. So you're more than welcome to take it twice if you would like to do that. We also have labs in this class. I've mentioned labs a couple times. About half of those labs are going to be done on campus, and then about half of them are going to be done at home. So over the course of the semester, there are 14 total labs, which is a lot of labs. They're going to be worth 20 points each over for each of those assignments. And then again, similar to the quizzes, 2 of them get dropped at the end of the semester. So if you do really bad on a lab, it's okay. If you forget to turn in a lab, also okay. I mean, I want you to turn in all of the assignments, but if you just have a bad week and you totally space, 2 of those labs are going to get dropped. So you've got a little safety net built in there. And then the last thing that contributes to your grade in this class are weekly discussions. There are topics that are going to be posted on the discussion board each week that you will need to respond to. You will need to make this initial post by Wednesday of each week, and then you will need to respond to one of your classmates' posts by Friday. So this response, I don't have specific things that I want from your response to your classmates post, but something better than just like nice post exclamation point, right? Just something a little bit more in depth. Ask them a question, make a comment, add to their discussion post, right? Something a bit meatier than just like good job. Okay. Each of these discussions are worth 20 points, and those 20 points are for your initial post and your response. There are 8 total discussions. They happen the same weeks as the quizzes, so we take a break from discussions for the week of the midterm and the week of the final. But similar to the quizzes, 2 of them get dropped at the end of the semester. So if there's a week you forget to do a discussion, it's okay. We have this built-in safety net there. All right, so that's all we have for just kind of talking about the course in general. I do just want to say that this is a lot of material and it's a very short semester, and this is going to, it might feel a bit overwhelming, but we're just going to take it 1 week at a time, 1 lecture at a time, 1 chapter at a time. And if there's ever anything you need outside of class, if you need something explained to you a little bit differently, if you need to review some material that maybe was unclear, I'm more than happy to meet with you outside of class time in an office hours situation. I am here to support you through this very short and information packed semester. So please do utilize me in whatever way is helpful to you. So I am going to get that other video posted. So please take a look at that. That'll kind of talk through D2L a little bit. I'll show the syllabus and the schedule, but we'll also talk about this on Tuesday, June 1st, which is where I will see you all then. So until June 1st,